coach speak. Man, it has been a minute since we've been able to do this. Of course, it's even still technically, boys. That's Ira, that's Corey. I'm Jeff. Thanks for joining us. Thanks to Artesia Water as well. They'll be back in full swing once we start with, I guess, what you'd say is a real coach speak, like a regular season coach speak. This is a preseason coach speak before we fly to Ireland, but we had to get something in the coffers for the people, man. They've been clamoring all summer. So here we go. We've got clips because coaches went to their conference kickoff just like we did up in Charlotte, right? Was there anything that we heard in Charlotte we could have used? Anything that we personally gathered at the ACC meetings?
I don't think so. Jim Phillips, right? Jim Phillips talking very confidently and, combatively, yeah.
Yeah, that would have been we'll save that for lame duck AD speak.
I like that.
Lame duck commissioner speak, maybe.
Yeah, lame duck commissioner speak. All right, well, speaking of not commissioners but producers, there's Ben. I see him. He's back there hiding. He's about to hop in. What's up, buddy? You got the clips?
Hey, it's been a while. It's good to be back. Good to be. This is our week 0 coach speak, if you will.
That's right. That's right.
You never know what can happen in week 0, guys. I'm a little nervous. Things can go off the rails. It's been a minute. I already feel rusty, so I don't know where Ben's at in all of this and the collection of clips. This could be a mess.
Well, I will say I've been collecting clips for about 3 months. Appreciate all of you guys out there that send us clips. That's a big help to us. Please keep doing that. We're going to get the Twitter back up and going. If you guys don't follow it already, it's Coach Speak SH. So definitely make sure you check that out. We'll have clips from the show, from previous shows and all that. So make sure you check that out. But hey, let's get started, guys. What do you say?
Let's go. Who do we got?
All right. I'm picking and choosing here. I usually have the order all lined out, but I'm just going to go randomly. So we're going to go with former Texas A&M baseball coach Jim Schlossnagle. I don't know. Hopefully I said that right. But he is not a friend of Texas A&M anymore because he's now the Texas coach. So he said this and then took the Texas job less than 24 hours later.
Nice.
Respect to the difficult outcome tonight, but with the rumors circulating today about a specific job opening, what do you have to say about your future in Aggieland?
Yeah, I think it's pretty selfish of you to ask me that question, to be honest with you. But I left my family to be the coach at Texas A&M. I took the job at Texas A&M to never take another job again, and that hasn't changed in my mind. And that's unfair to talk about something like that. That'd be like you asking Montgomery if he's going to sign in the draft. But I understand you got to ask the question, but I gave up a big part of my life to come take this job, and I've poured every ounce of my soul in this job, and I've given this job every single ounce I can possibly give it. So write that.
Write that.
Coach,
right,
thank
that's
you
the
very
best
much.
part.
So this kind of makes him the worst kind of person on earth.
Up there, for sure. Up there. Not a murderer, but up there.
He's just like, yes.
He could be.
Devoid
if his
of
life had turned out differently, he could have been a murderer.
Yeah, apart from being, a mass murderer, spree shooter,
right,
sociopath, this guy, I can't stand people like this. This is he knows exactly why that question has to be asked. It's completely fair to ask the question. And oh, by the way, if that reporter wanted to ask the player if he was going to sign a pro contract, that's a fair question too. Go to hell with your nonsense. That I would be furious. You guys have had to ask more of these kinds of questions in a press setting than I have. I've had my fair share, but you've had way more. Have you ever wanted to come back at a disingenuous a-hole like that in a moment like that?
Oh, yeah. I would say our guy Jimbo at the Florida game when he called me, Corey, and several of us out by name, Gene, several of us out by name because we were doing it for clicks, saying he might be going to Texas A&M, which he ended up doing, which I thought was a little bit of irony there. The Texas A&M fans were all outraged about Schlossnagle leaving for Texas, even though he was still coaching their team. Meanwhile, they basically had to deal with Jimbo Fisher to get him to leave Florida State. I don't know, man. In week 2, when did they fire someone that year? Week 2, week 3?
Yeah.
And they knew Jimbo was coming. So what goes around comes around. But yeah, this guy's the worst. Because then to call out the reporter for being selfish is just ridiculous.
Well, and the context is, in case I think Ben made it clear, but in case he didn't, it wasn't just that he's at Texas now. He was at Texas the next day. Yeah. He literally accepted the job, he accepted the job weeks before. We found out later. Yes. But they actually announced it the next day. So for him to be that disingenuous, and then he came out and apologized, blah, blah, blah. But in that moment, you see who the person really is. You can We understand he does not want to say right there, right? He doesn't want to say. We get it. You can't say right after you just lost the national championship game, oh, yeah, and by the way, I'm taking the Texas job. But there are other ways to combat it, and the reporter did what he's supposed to do and asked him about it. Yeah. Asking your number one prospect if he's going to go sign with a Major League Baseball team is a stupid question because we know he is.
Right.
This is something where you're actually leaving for another school.
Yeah, it's a stupid question, but it's a legitimate question. It's not.
But nobody asked Buster Posey after the College World Series.
I agree, Corey. I agree that it's a dumb question, but it's not a cruel or a selfish question.
Correct.
Look, and there will be people that say, as Corey said, like he can't come out and say the truth, and we understand that.
But you don't have to call somebody selfish for asking you a question he has to ask you.
Exactly, and you don't have to act like it's not true. Like you could just say, "Listen, guys, I'm focused right now on Texas A&M. We just lost a huge game. I want to talk about that.
I want to talk to my team.
Yeah, that's what the focus is right now.
Also,
I'll tell you all about that. Hey, great question.
Yeah.
Ask me again tomorrow morning.
24 hours from now, I'll tell you all about Texas.
Ask me tomorrow morning. I'm all about it.
This moment you're asking me, but in 24 hours, I can't wait to answer it.
Put a sticky on that. Don't forget it.
Yeah.
And then come back to me with that.
I'm actually going to have a press conference in a couple of days in Austin, Texas. If you can get there, I'll answer that question. I promise. I'll
front
be there.
And center. It'll be the first thing I answer.
I think the reporter was there. I think that's why he apologized at the press conference.
Oh, he went to his introductory at Texas.
I think he was because he definitely apologized to him at it.
The other part that I hate, and it's probably the part I hate the most, is after you deflect and push blame back on a reporter for asking a legitimate question, you then try to tell everybody how difficult your life's been and how you've had to sacrifice every ounce of your being to be the coach at Texas A&M. Oh, I'm sure it was tough to make $1 million to coach baseball. Shut the hell up.
For only $1 million.
Yeah, it's tough. You don't understand. Every day I get up and wonder why I do what I do. It's hard. It's I walk out of my mansion just like anybody else, and I get in my Ferrari and I drive to baseball practice, and it's not a short drive. I mean, it's just like
because I don't live anywhere near College Station. Who would? I'm on the outskirts with one of my ranches.
Occasionally I fly in, and that's even more of a hassle. You know how much gas is to fly my jet in to coach baseball? This is ridiculous. What kind of question is that? Ben, next.
Okay, so we're team reporter on the first one. I'm curious if we're siding with the reporter here on this one. This is Michael Malone after the former defending champion Denver Nuggets fell in Game 7 to Minnesota, blew a big lead in that game as well, and he was asked about it.
How hard is it just to absorb a loss like this after going ahead by 20?
Next question, man. The season's over. That's what's hard. Fuck being up 20. The season's over. You don't understand that. The season's over. It's hard. Stupid ass questions.
Man, I always go back to when I was covering high school sports back in, because we all laugh at these people when the reporters ask these questions like, "How does it feel?" or "You just lost," whatever.
Yeah.
And I was covering a high school track meet, and there was a kid that I was explicitly there to cover this meet for a newspaper. It was for a newspaper in a different area, but this kid was from that area of state championships, and the kid was supposed to win. It was no doubt. Like I'm just there to cover him winning the state championship.
Oops.
And he lost. He basically fell apart in the state championship. So as I'm interviewing, I'm like, I had to ask one of those kinds of questions. Like, man, you've had an unbelievable season. Everybody thought you were going to win. I mean, but what do you do? I don't know.
You don't ask him how it feels to choke on the largest stage he's ever been.
That's one I always wrestle with as a reporter. I always wrestle with that one because I don't know what the good question there is.
Yeah, better than that though. Like I get that. Like he fired back maybe a little too
Kersely.
Snap back. Yeah, he
I
snapped back
don't
a little bit.
I don't blame the coach. I don't blame Malone at all. I get where he's coming from. I don't really know how you ask that question. It's a tough spot.
Well, he basically asked, how did it feel to lose a 20-point lead and your season's over? And that's a no-duh question. Like, it could be more like, you could frame it better.
Well, Coach, you were up 20 in the third quarter. What happened that shifted the momentum in this game? And like ask him how it happened, not what's it feel like.
Oh, I'm sure that was or would have been asked. I'm not saying that should have been this guy's only question.
Yeah,
I'm just saying it is a weird deal, man. Like, all right, so say for example, say a team loses Game 7 of the World Series, and the closer who's been lights out all season goes out there and gives up 3 runs to blow the game. What are the good questions? I mean, hey, was your breaking ball just not sharp tonight? I mean, like, it's a tough spot.
I mean, you basically like, what were you trying to do on that pitch? Did you miss location? Those nonsensical questions, but at least he has a chance. He will say, yeah, I was trying to get the fastball on the outside corner. It trickled back over the plate, and I'm pissed. They hit the home run. And now I feel like a loser. Like, he'll give you that quote.
Yeah,
just get him talking. Him talking.
Would you ask Mike McGee at the World Series, Corey?
I don't think we talked to him.
No,
I don't think we talked to him. I think we just talked to Mike Burton and maybe Tyler Holt.
I would have wanted to say, Mike, we could all see this coming. You were throwing frisbees for weeks.
Yeah.
And actually the ball that was tattooed by the kid from Florida just happened to be right out of shortstop that you threw, or else you would have lost that game too.
Yeah. See, this is why Jeff, you probably don't need to be in the post-game press conferences.
I wouldn't have said that, but yes, I would have thought it because I was thinking it. All right, Ben, what do we got?
All right, let's stick at the NBA. New Lakers head coach, J.J. Redick, in his introductory press conference, he was asked what misconceptions he's most looking forward to disproving.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, J.J., Claire Luna with The Guardian. First of all, sorry, right in front of you. First of all, happy birthday. Second of all, what misconceptions or concerns about you that you've heard in the last few weeks are you the most looking forward to dispelling when you're the coach?
It's a valid question, and I've certainly heard everything. It's been a really interesting 6 weeks or so, just in terms of being part of the engagement farming industry. It's been really interesting. However, I don't really have a great answer for your question because I really don't give a fuck. Like, honestly, I want to coach the Lakers. I want to coach the team. I don't want to dispel anything. I don't. I want to become a great coach in the NBA, and I want to win championships, and I want my players to maximize their careers. That's all I fucking care about.
Okay. So
no notes. No notes.
Yeah. I can appreciate that because there's a directness that we all appreciate to that. I'm going to guess that management's going to tell him to dial back
the F-bombs in the press conferences.
The answers at press conference. It's a great answer. And it's cool for this show that we got that answer. But, man, you're the Lakers head coach, dude. let's dial this back.
I appreciated that he little shout out to Dave Aranda there with you. I appreciate it. I appreciated the fact that he didn't just attack her when he probably could have.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she's trying to kind of give him a softball, I guess, sort of, but it's kind of insulting, and I don't know. But the fact that
farming, by the way, off of the cap.
That is a good phrase.
It's a weird question in the sense that if he answers it the way she wants him to answer, he's got to go well, he's never coached in the NBA. He's young. He has no experience. He didn't even coach in college. He's disliked. He'd have to be saying all the things that people say about him. Right. So that was that's why I think that was the perfect answer. He couldn't go down. You wouldn't want your head coach going down that road either, admitting all the things that people think about him.
No. I'm just saying that I think that the Lakers would probably say to him, yeah, how about I don't care?
Yeah.
I'm not really looking to dispel anything because I don't care about outside opinions.
There's a little more emphasis with the way he put it. I like it. I like that.
As an engagement farmer myself,
right?
I understand that most of that is nonsense.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I see what you're doing there, young lady.
Engagement farming.
That wouldn't go well. Ben, what do we got?
Hey, well, I wanted to bring this up because we talked about our guy, Dave Aranda. I looked and searched and could not find this clip, but it's from Big 12 Media Days. I'm guessing Well, obviously it's before the press conference portion because it wasn't in this part of the media day, but he was asked, what's different in Baylor recruiting? They've had a really, really big 2025 class so far. We'll see if it sticks, but Dave was blunt. He said, we're paying players. And then he was asked if it was that simple, and he said yes. And I did want to say with Dave, I've noticed, I've watched several press conferences, several interviews. He's not appreciating questions anymore, guys. I think Baylor is poised for a huge 6-6 season.
Yeah,
okay,
a big 6-6 campaign on the horizon. Yeah. Hey, the fine folks at Baylor who have invested a lot of money in their fair city and university are going to be happy to see a more aggressive, less sort of new agey Dave Aranda. Yeah, I think they're going to like this edgy Dave Aranda, this blunt guy that's calling it like it is.
Did you see the pictures from practice? Their coaches are wearing shirts that say, "We pay players." Using that quote, which is awesome. Yeah, man, how about that? How about if Dave Aranda, after Mr. Nice Guy, I appreciate everybody's questions last year, all the Zen Buddha stuff and all that, he comes back this year and is just Darth Vader.
Does a heel turn.
Yeah,
that would be awesome. I don't think he'll be good at it. It doesn't seem like it fits.
It doesn't feel like it's him. It's like when LeBron tried to be the villain.
But it'll be fun to watch him try.
If he just starts dropping F-bombs.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, let him do that JJ Redick press conference style every day. Yeah, I would we love Dave.
He's like, every response starts with, you know what? I don't appreciate that question, but I'm going to answer it anyway.
I don't appreciate your face.
Yeah.
Next question.
Yeah. Thanks, Corey. Stupid question. Next. That would be great. What do we got?
All right, we've got Doug Gottlieb. Gottlieb.
Yeah.
You guys know who I'm talking about. He's Green Bay's new basketball coach. I don't know if you guys saw that over the summer.
I did
not.
He's
also
of everything that's going on, but he's going to keep his radio show. So he was asked how he's going to do both, and then he kind of went on a tangent, and random schools in California caught strays. It's fun stuff.
Okay.
That this is a special place. This campus is beautiful. Do you think most people know how beautiful this campus is? Right? Like, I'll give you an example, okay? What's the prettiest campus in California?
Pepperdine.
Pepperdine, right?
Yeah.
Okay? Pepperdine sucks. It does. And I'll tell you why. It's got this gigantic hill in campus. It's not actually on the beach. It overlooks the beach. So it's kind of like, this is where you could be, but you can't actually afford to live there, right? And you can't actually get there. The traffic to get there, there's fires in the canyon. The two nicest campuses, and maybe three, Loyola Marymount, which is on a bluff overlooking Southern California, like 2 blocks from the beach. UC Santa Barbara, which has dorms that are actually on the beach, and Point Loma, St. Nazarene down in San Diego, which a downward slope. You can see the water, you can walk down.
I've always said that, Corey.
Why you don't know about them? Because their basketball team's not any good. Because there's no promotion of it. Do you think that people know how pristine this campus is, that it has a view of the lake and how it's set aside from the city and it's clean and you feel like you could leave your car in lot? Of course not. That's what the radio show works for. Again, I'm not going to be able to do, local Green Bay talk, but I am going to be able to talk about the Packers, and I am going to be able to display how enjoyable it is to live in a special place. Like the Fox Valley is an unbelievable place to raise a family. Right? Do people know that? People who live here know that. People locally know that, but people nationally don't. So I want to use that platform as a promotional tool. Just like Fox Sports is going to use my platform as a basketball coach as their promotional platform. Right? That's how it all can work together. But in terms of dropping the radio show,
this is terrible. There's not a single thing about that was any good.
Why did they hire him?
He's an engagement farmer from way back. And he's not
he's an OG.
He's not going to stop engagement farming just to coach a little basketball.
Can you imagine tuning into that show to hear him prattle on about Green Bay?
Well, he's not. That's what he just said. He's not going to talk about Wisconsin Green Bay. He'll probably talk about the game they just lost the night before.
He's going to talk about the Packers a lot.
Yeah, maybe the Packers. But, he's got a national radio show. And he's also a full-time varsity men's basketball college coach.
It's not going to work.
Of course it's not going to work. He doesn't care. And even if it does work to the extent that he goes 18-13 or 20-14, gets him to the NIT, he's going to want to go to the next. He won't be singing the praises of how beautiful Green Bay's campus is in 18 months when he goes to I guess Loyola Marymount, wherever he really wants to go coach.
I would also note, I don't think anybody, even the people that live there, are singing the praises and beauty of Green Bay. They're not.
Hey, we're not. Look, we're not here to disparage Green Bay, the beauty of Green Bay.
I'm sure they're wonderful people. Yeah.
Real quick, there's I don't need to say which player it was, but one of the Florida State players we cover who went in the NFL draft this past year, a bunch of teams were flying him into games or to camps to interview him before the draft, and one of them was Green Bay. And this is a player who's not very worldly.
Yeah.
He thought when they were flying him to Green Bay that he was going to California. But anyway, he ended up not getting drafted by Green Bay. That all worked out okay. But yeah, I guess the school is looking at it like Corey asked at the beginning, why'd they hire him? I guess that national name is like, how else are you going to get a name kind of head coach at Green Bay unless you let him keep doing his show? And you know what I'm saying? Like,
Sure, but it's to what end? To what end? It's mediocre Division I college basketball, and I don't think Doug Gottlieb is going to. He might be a genius. I don't know. Maybe he'll prove that you don't need to work 20 hours a day to be one of these college coaches. You can have a national radio show.
What's so funny is so many coaches, like, they have to do their weekly call-in show, and they hate it. They do it begrudgingly because it's part of their contract. Here's another $300,000 to do a weekly call-in show, and that's like 1 hour. My man's going to be sitting down hours a day doing a radio show.
He's not only that, but it's not just he's doing a radio show every day. Like, he's doing a national radio show that cares not at all about Wisconsin Green Bay basketball. So theoretically, isn't he going to have to pay attention to all these other teams and sports and have opinions on them? Like, he's going to be talking about the NFL playoffs in the middle of conference play. It's crazy.
Also, Pepperdine doesn't suck. Having toured the campus, I've actually done that. It's effing gorgeous. There's a reason that everybody, as he noted, says Pepperdine is beautiful, because it is. It is beautiful.
But you can't afford to live there, buddy.
You can't get on the beach.
You can easily get on the beach. Not that far a walk. Secondly,
Coach Doug doesn't say that. Coach Doug says the exact opposite, in fact.
He's wrong. Anyhow, he's wrong.
I think he's going to be I think Doug's first season of college basketball head coaching is going to be I think he might be a regular on Coach Beat.
He also may be a one-season guy.
Yeah.
I don't feel like this is going to work out.
One and done, yeah.
Ben, what do we got?
Yeah, we're going to have to wait a couple months to see how it works out, but I'll definitely have my eyes on Doug. See how things shake out for him. Let's do Deshaun Foster now, UCLA coach. He's beloved by his team, former running backs coach.
This is tough. This is tough.
This is hard to watch. This is like when you have to do a presentation in front of the class and you don't prepare at all.
Coach Foster, welcome to the Big Ten. We'll begin with your opening statement.
How you guys doing? I'm happy to be here. Glad to be a part of this great conference. Finally putting two great emblems together, UCLA and the Big Ten. We're a school that's won, 123 championships, so this fits us being right in this conference. Football-wise, we're just excited. You know,
you can hear it in my voice.
I'm sure you guys don't know too much about UCLA, but our football program, but we're in LA.
There you go. There's one.
It's the LA in the UCLA.
Troy Aikman played here.
It's us and USC.
Okay. All right.
We
OJ had a car chase there.
Yeah.
You may have heard that.
Shohei plays in LA.
They make movies in Los Angeles.
Yes.
I'm just basically excited, really. That's it. Any questions?
In a second.
I mean, so did he lose his train of thought, or was he like, because it sounded as if, and that's the first time I've seen that clip, genuinely.
Oh,
it sounded as if he was about to rattle on some stuff that UCLA football is known for and has done in the past. If you don't know a lot about UCLA football, and then all he said was, "We're in LA, and so is USC." Is that it? Right?
Yeah, and they got a great emblem. I don't know. Did you? I did see this clip when it happened. Jeff did obviously as well. I don't know if we read any follow-up comments, but like, it's either one of two things. Either he didn't know he had to make an opening statement, or he just got like you said, just kind of like got flustered and lost where he was. Yeah.
Yeah, not everybody. You know, we're so used to coaches who are accustomed to being asked questions and being able to fill time if they have to and take the ball and run with it. Perhaps he didn't recognize that aspect of the job and got up there and didn't realize, man, you're supposed to have kind of a prepared statement. You're supposed to say something definitive, perhaps to set the tone, answer questions. Like, yeah, we're in LA. My man, I'm a little worried about what else this says about you. It's one thing to fail the press conference thing here, but who do you think is at this event? Like people who don't know that UCLA is in LA? Like who are you talking? This is
or that USC is there too. It's Southern California, not South Carolina.
And
these are sports reporters.
Yeah, I get the idea that like when you hear you're coaching in LA and you hear that you're going to be joining the Big Ten, you're going to the Big Ten Conference Media Days, and I could see some informal conversations where people are saying, "Man, they don't know anything about us." Like they're Big Ten guys. They think Iowa's football is fun. Like they don't know what we're about. They don't understand LA. I can understand having those internal conversations, but then you get there and basically kind of say that, like. I don't know if you're familiar with us because you guys are stuck here in the middle of freaking nowhere.
Yeah.
But there's a coast and it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Except for Pepperdine. You might have heard a lot about Pepperdine, which is also in California. Don't go there.
Overblown.
Yeah. But our campus is pretty, and it's really close to Loyola Marymount, which is incredibly beautiful. But it's like I thought it was like he was going to rattle on some stuff about UCLA and then doesn't know anything about the history of
That's what I think too, Corey, and it's disturbing.
A little bit that he doesn't know, but also at the same time, it does say a lot about UCLA's history and tradition, that there's nothing immediate. There's nothing that like, no, they didn't do that either. Troy Aikman played here, and OJ won the Heisman against our school in 1968.
I was going to say at USC. He didn't play at UCLA.
No, but his big game against USC is what cemented the Heisman for him. Like that's what they're known for.
The other thing, and the only reason I don't give him credit for maybe he didn't know he had to do an opening statement is I assume UCLA wasn't the opening act for the Big Ten media. Like I would think like you might have seen other coaches go up.
Here's how they're doing it. I'll just do that.
Take a call, and you got to blame the SID. Can we fire the SID? Have they fired the SID yet? Because somebody should have prepared him also.
I'm also coming at it from the perspective of I'm a UCLA alumnus and I love UCLA and I can't wait for us to get back on track and someday matter in football again. We got this new coach. Kelly
Our last head coach left us to be a coordinator.
He couldn't stand it here, couldn't make it here. We had a bunch of, 5 and 6 loss type seasons. So I'm ready for this new guy, some new blood. What's he got to say about UCLA? Great. Good. So this guy's a moron who doesn't know anything about
my acknowledged that we're in LA.
Yeah.
That's what the LA stands for, if you were curious.
Yeah,
it's California at Los Angeles. It's entertaining, but also I do think that he poked fun at himself the next press conference back home with the local media. I think he wore a shirt that said "We're in LA" or something like that. I say the same thing like Aranda. Them all wearing "We Pay the Players." It's a good look to be able to poke fun at yourself, which he did the next time he talked. Even maybe later that day, I feel like he poked fun at himself.
Not going to work out, fellas.
Maybe not. What a great start. But win football games, nobody will care.
It's not going to work out. Ben, go ahead.
And my favorite part was UCLA. We have 123 championships. As far as football goes, we're excited. Let's talk a little baseball now. We're going to go to the majors first. This is from back in May. This is Ron Washington.
Ooh.
The Angels were playing the Cardinals, and they tried a suicide squeeze play with the bases loaded. Down 7-6 in the 8th inning. The next batter then struck out to end the inning. And this was what Ron had to say after the game.
Blame Guillermo. Missed it, but why did you want to call for that?
Lefty on lefty. I didn't sink a ball left-hander. I didn't want him to hit into a double play. He can handle the bat. He didn't do the job. It wasn't anything I did wrong. He didn't do the job.
Some good at-bats.
I would have rather went to the 9th inning with a 6-6 lead than to went to the 9th inning the way we did. It didn't work out.
When a pitcher is that wild, does that make it a little tougher to get the bat?
Wow. He was throwing the ball in the strike zone. Why are you making excuses? He was throwing the ball in the strike zone. He did not get the bunt down. Period.
So I got to tell you, I've always liked Ron Washington. Ron's been through some things, but he's also like a baseball lifer legend. Yeah. You guys both know that.
Great with the Braves. He was great with the Braves.
I love him. I love him. I think he's like fun to listen to, talk about baseball, knows the game inside and out. By the way, those Angels uniforms, whatever they were wearing that night, are sweet. I actually like that. That's nice. But that said, Ron's done this 3 times this year. And I guess he feels like he's tasked with a bunch of young players because they obviously don't, Trout's out and then they got rid of Shohei. So he's just he's old tough love Ron. He's had numerous press conferences this year. He's like, well, we had a runner at third with less than 2 outs and didn't get him home. But this is what happens when guys don't do their job. Yeah. You got to hit the ball to the right side, just put the ball in play, but you strike out looking. It's tough to win a baseball game. And he's done that a lot this year. Like Ron should be on this show every day or every week anyhow. He's solid as a rock.
I'm all about it too. I'm all about it. Like he's like, no. Hey, wait. Yeah. If he gets the bunt down, we tie the game. Don't start blaming old Ron Washington here. Don't start blaming old Ron Washington. If my man gets the bunt down, we're in a tie game. Instead, he fails. And now you're going to – no. I'm not taking any blame for this. That was the right call. He did the wrong thing.
And it was in the strike zone. He just couldn't get the bunt down. Don't try to make excuses for this guy.
I also I can listen to – and I am sensitive to this as an Orioles fan because Brendan Hyde is all about the matchups. He's not letting lefties hit against lefties. He's going to try to play them. And the fans hate it. They lose their minds. Like if you take out a guy who's a good hitter who's been hitting well to bring in some slappy because he's a right-hander – in the 8th inning of it, and then he strikes out, they lose their mind. So when he said lefty, my first thought was Twitter's just killing him right now. Yeah. There are people, because and it's also all Monday morning quarterbacking. Like if it had worked, it would have been fine. If it doesn't, they're going to kill him.
He also could be like, man, we're the Angels. When have we ever mattered in the last 2 decades? Who cares, man? I appreciate you're here because why aren't you here?
Why are you even at this press conference? Ohtani left.
Yeah. Do you think anybody really cares that we lost by 1 run in May? Are you crazy?
Ohtani left and Trout's always hurt.
Always
hurt. There's no reason for you to be here. Ever. There's no reason whatsoever. But I like Washington. Be on the lookout, Ben, for more Ron Washington because he's funny and he's rock solid. And he's been through some things. Go for it. What do we got next?
All right, we got 2 more clips. We're going to stick with baseball now. We're going to go to the college side. This is Gary Gilmore. He's been at Coastal Carolina from 1996 until 2024. He retired after this season, and he says he will not miss NIL after retiring. This is more I'm just curious to get your all's thoughts because this is an interesting little discussion here. Not really a coach speak, but interesting conversation.
Okay.
System where everyone was a free agent every year. Do you realize what chaos would be? It would go away. You wouldn't have those 3 sports. If you did, baseball, it'd be the Yankees, the Red Sox, the Dodgers, Texas, and the rest of the teams couldn't compete because they would spend every amount of money they needed to spend to do it. And that's what's going on right now. There's not a level playing field. It's just ridiculous for me. Much as I'm going to miss the kids, and I'm going to miss the heck out of them, dealing with that mess, I'm telling you right now, the fact that there are teams in college baseball giving $2+ million of NIL money away. Come on, man. It's just, a real system would be one where they get a little bit of money, but then they put money in trust and this and that, so that you have the horror stories you see in the NFL and in different places. Major League Baseball gets big signing bonuses, and boom, 5-10 years later they're broke. They don't have a dime. They don't have an education. They don't have anything. There has to be a better way. It's not just who can raise the most money and give it away. There has to be a better way because, like I said, professional sports would go in the toilet in a hurry if we used this system. This is me as a college coach. This is what I have to deal with. You can sign your returning players to a scholarship which binds you to them, but they come around in July and go, I'm going to go in the portal. I'm up in the Cape and somebody's going to give me a big NIL deal, and you were held accountable, coach. You had to had to honor that scholarship you gave me, but now I'm gonna go in the portal and leave you hanging. That's a messed up system. And I hope somebody fixes it. I'm be honest with you, that part I'm gonna enjoy that. To be very honest with you.
All right, let's go to the back.
What do you think Coastal's NIL budget is?
Probably not a lot, but they won a national championship when he was there.
Yeah.
I think that's correct.
Before NIL.
Yeah, before NIL, but yeah, I mean they did. He said a lot of things that a lot of people agree with there. I don't think he's probably getting out at the right time. Wouldn't we agree? That it would be time for him to go, given the fact that if that's your attitude, you can't coach now.
Yeah.
But the idea surrounding seemingly there's no regulatory unilateral rule in place where this is what you can do and this is how much you can spend and I can spend. It's different from state to state, college to college, all of that. I think a lot of people agree with that.
Yeah, no, he's not wrong in the overall big picture topic, especially this idea. And he mentioned the Cape. Like that's what's happened the last couple of years is kids go to the Cape and it's basically a transfer portal feast.
Free for all.
These college coaches are going now and trying to lure kids into the portal to their programs. And he's definitely at the bottom, and I looked up, they won the 2016 national title.
I remember they did, yeah.
Which is awesome, but and it stinks. The only thing I really disagree with him on is the part about players should get a little bit of money.
Yeah, no, you can't control that. Don't stipend it, whatever. I mean, but let's make it a salary base, right? Like $20 million to spend on your players, however you want to spend it. And we all do.
And once you're locked in, you're locked in. I don't know if you guys saw the quote, Mike Gundy talking a couple days ago. He talked about somebody asked him some NIL question. He goes, you know what? He goes, I told our team, all that's for in the spring. Like now we're here. We're playing football. Tell your agent not to call me, not to call it. We're not doing that during the season.
Right.
That's for January. And but yeah, I mean, it's just at some point they'll get to, with this house ruling and all that, maybe they'll get to where there's a pool of money and everybody's got an equal playing field. But we're not there yet.
I think the best point he's making is the thing I brought up since this really started in Overdrive is like, yeah, man, there's nothing binding these players to the university. Nothing. They are free agents. They're free agents after every game, not just every season.
Right.
They can leave at every game or sit out and say, I'm not going to play Saturday or I'm not going to play this weekend in this weekend series unless you give me X amount of dollars. There has to be, like in every other walk of life, if you're getting paid something, so certainly handsomely, there needs to be a contract. One that can't be broken on a whim. The problem with that is these coaches break their contracts all the time.
And the other problem is
they can't say that.
The other problem is right now they're not employees. So you have to change the whole model if you're going to have like a binding contract.
Which is where I think we all think this is going.
Theoretically.
Yeah. Ben, what do we got?
Hey, so our last one's out of left field a little bit. So I was on TikTok and I had posted a video. And
it's the start of every good
stuff. Tell people what kind of TikTok videos you're posting because that could be taken a lot of different ways.
Well, you'll see. You'll get the context here in just a moment. So I got a comment on one of my videos. And they said the Coach Speak guys are going to roast you. So we'll go ahead and jump into Coach Ben Spicer on his college football 25 dynasty. They said you guys are going to have fun with this.
Here we go.
We're going to talk about the future of the program today, right here, right now. And it all starts, of course, with the culture. I think these guys are going to buy into our philosophies and all the team acronyms that we have. I know you guys think it's cliche and stupid, but trust me, it has a real meaning. Our team motto, our team acronym this year is Bearcat, and that stands for brotherhood, eat, attack, run the damn ball, kill, attack again, and tackle. And if we do those 7 things, we're going to have a damn good season. We're going to have a damn good program.
How'd that first year go, Coach?
Hey, we went 4-8. It was a rough year. But we bounced back 10-4 year 2. So combine in. I got my guys in now. I got all the slappies out, and we're feeling good. We're looking.
Can I get a Bearcat shirt?
Absolutely.
I want a Bearcat shirt and I want people to see what it stands for.
Yeah, I got you.
Sam Houston State.
Yes,
that's who you're coaching.
And they spell Bearcat with a K.
With a K. Yeah.
Okay. All right. That's unique.
Have they Has the real Sam Houston State adopted your motto yet?
I don't know. I think they should, though. I think
they should. Bearcat is good. I like that. After you've killed, you attack again.
Yeah.
That's. I mean, they're already dead, but here's still attacking. There's still time.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been fun. It's been fun.
So we're gonna have we got a little time off here before college football really gets going, and then that's when Coach Peak hits overdrive. I was actually at a Seminole Booster Club meeting the other night, speaking to a group, and a few people came up and asked about Coach Peak. And
several.
It was
Not
a few.
Several.
It was a few.
Throng.
Say all of them asked you.
Every single one of them asked me.
Yeah.
People were just stopping me on the street. So yeah, Coach Peak will be back full time once we get going here. Probably a couple weeks.
Yeah, I think
when we all get back from Europe.
Yeah, when we get back from you, it's a unique set of circumstances, but we're happy to be back. And this kind of is the final box to check, boys, before we get on a plane. This is it. Football season is beginning, which is a great thing. Ben, I know it's hard work. Thanks for all of that. Keep it up. Get back to work. Find me some Ron Washington stuff. And we better have Dave Aranda after that first week.
And Dion. Dave Aranda and Dion. We plenty of ammo there with those
We're
two.
watching the downfall of two men right there. We'll document it right here on Coach Speak. It'll be good. For Corey and Ira, I'm Jeff. Good job, Ben. Peace, everybody.